Welcome to SmallCapPower. I'm Vasudha Sharma and I'm here with Sheldon Inwentash, serial entrepreneur and prolific financier. Mr. Inwentash has over 30 years of investing experience and has been instrumental in raising $15 billion for his portfolio companies. He's now here with us to talk about his venture capital firm, 3D Capital. Mr. Inwentash, thank you so much for your time.
Okay, it's great to be here. Thank you.
So talk to us about 3D Capital and the investment strategy that you've adopted for it.
Well, we're an investment company, just like we say, but we focused on a limited number of verticals where we take large positions in many cases take board seats, and advise and help those companies to basically help them build the enterprise.
Okay. So what are the verticals that you are focused on? What kind of focus areas do you have at 3D?
One of the ones that we just had that's after 4 years of working with 10 PhDs, we have an artificial intelligence company that's focused towards mining exploration discovery. It's called Goldspot. Mm-hmm. We're involved in the blockchain through a company called Toda and Toda Q, which is a base layer that sort of more like a data asset management system that basically goes underneath the blockchain. And by doing that is going to enable scalability where it has been really not been able to be attained by many of the protocols. We're involved in graphite to graphene, taking a mine, metamorphosizing it through a technical partner that we have in Swansea in Wales, and our first application will be for the tire industry. We think that'll be quite disruptive. We're involved in augmented reality, which is sort of self-explanatory, but one has to see a demo to really understand the value proposition.
Yeah.
But Tim Cook has basically said the onset of AR, as it's called, is probably as important as the beginning uses of a cellular phone. Mm-hmm. So that provides quite a bit of leverage there.
Yeah.
We're also involved in eSports through a few corporations like Enthusiast Gaming and others that we have in the pipeline. The privates are in the pipeline. We like to get and see them public. And then finally, the whole area of medical cannabis, basically using endocannabinoids in a medical application.
Yeah. Speaking of the resource sector, what's your outlook for that space in the next 12 months, given that a lot of the attention has moved towards medical cannabis and cannabis?
Well, I think that cannabis, the rose is folding a bit right now. It's twilighting in the first phase of that particular business after the euphoria of obviously becoming legalized. I'm extremely positive on the mineral sector. It's been underexplored, underinvested. We've seen technically a breakout in gold. I believe, just as is Bitcoin, it's an indicator that people are concerned about currencies and what they're really worth. And so this is a way of acquiring a quasi-currency that has no debt against it. So I think that the gold industry per se is going to grow. And as well, as soon as the China-US dispute is normalized, a lot of the basic materials that China needs are going to need reinvesting as well. So I'm very optimistic in where that can go. The reason that I decided to start a company, co-found a company in artificial intelligence towards exploration is that I believe, just like many other sectors, you need technology to reduce your finding costs and reduce your risks. And we believe that that could be just the first sort of vertical of that vertical, and then we can apply that to other minerals as well.
Okay. Would you like to talk about the blockchain space? Often investors tend to club it with cryptocurrencies, and they want to see real life use cases of these companies talking about how they're going to use blockchain to transform some area of service. Would you like to comment on that?
Yes, the nuance between crypto and blockchain, I like to refer it all as blockchain. It's really about the distributed ledger. Now, what happens is when you have a ledger, you can also have smart contracts. Those smart contracts are represented by tokens, and somehow these tokens become very popular because the underlying blockchain is very robust. So one of the companies that I am extremely, we've made a big investment in is a company called TotaQ, which is backed by Hassan Khan and Tufi Saliba, who was really the visionary. And what TotaQ does is they're really not a blockchain company. They enable blockchain to do what it needs to do.
Okay.
So it's an underlying layer called, let's call it data asset management system, that literally the way that I explain it to people, if you had 20 fridges there, and every fridge was a protocol. You had Ethereum, you had EOS, Ripple, and so forth. Within those fridges, they can't get outside that size as much as they try, they can configure. But if we plug our power source into them, and outside and a layer below, we feel that we can accelerate and create an application that really what it was meant to do. And one of the big areas, the application, which I'm a big fan of, is that major corporations all have supply chain issues whereby there's gaps in the supply chain and you need trust. How do you create immutability? So the trust is obviously architected through a smart contract. The area that they are trying to bridge, if you will, corporations call leakage. And the numbers that fall in those leakage areas in the supply chain are absolutely telephone numbers.
Okay.
So if we can help reduce that by creating these contracts through this ledger system, that Tota, just in the supply chain, is a massive value added for corporations. So that's real life application that certainly is beginning to now get some traction.
Mr. Inwentash, given your decades of experience in investing, how are you doing things differently with 3D this time, and what should your shareholders know about the company in the near term?
You know, the shareholder world is all into instant gratification. So there's all this pressure, like even very kind that, you know, you guys, we're doing this interview here today, but I've maybe done one of these before, because everybody is always looking for, again, instant gratification of making money or results. And these things take years. Goldspot's been 4 years. Graphene company is now past 3 years. And they're all, what's exciting for me, we are now entering the stage of commercializability with all these ventures. So in our augmented reality, we are going to now do we're doing the NBA Hall of Fame. We just signed up 3 teams in Erie. Like, there's a whole set of reasons why augmented reality will become mainstream, but we need the infrastructure to make it easier for more people to use. So what's exciting is that there's less companies in 3D. They're focused on entirely different areas. You know, I'm very optimistic of basically catalyst events occurring, but you just never know when.
Wonderful. Excellent insights, Sheldon. Thank you so much for your time.
No problem. Thank you.